Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to One Piece, episode 997. So, this is the first weekly episode reaction to something on this channel since last week's. Because as you know, this past weekend I was at Youmacon. And just because of getting prepared for all of that, I wanted to take this last week off. So, nothing else has kind of really gotten in my mind in terms of that. So, I'm still thinking about One Piece a lot and how last episode really got this war started. I'm excited to see what happens with all of that. I'm excited to see what happens with Yamato and Ulti, with just Carrot and Nami doing their thing, with Kaido being attacked by the Akazaya 9, and so on and so forth. Now, there are a couple things that I found out. I have found out that episode 1000 will feature a new opening. I wish I didn't know this, but it's everywhere. It's unavoidable. I have seen it on Facebook, on Twitter, and not even people sharing it. Just because I've shared stuff about One Piece, I'm getting stuff recommended about it. Like on Facebook, I've had recommended posts from like Funimation or Toei or whatever, saying like, oh, this is happening, episode 1000, new opening and stuff. The only thing I don't know is, does this mean we're only getting it for episode 1000, like a special opening for that episode because of the big milestone? Or is it just a new opening altogether? Because that's two very different things, and I all I've seen is that there is that episode 1000 will have a new opening. But it could mean either of those things, and I'm unsure. I don't know what the actual truth of it's going to be. I would want it to be the second, though. I would want, or in terms of order, okay, I want it to be just a completely no opening. Let's just say that, rather than trying to figure out the order of what I had said before. I want it to be a completely new opening. I don't want it to just be for that episode, because that would feel weird. Like, because the episode's going to still be a regular, like, continuing episode of this series. Like, I have heard that. That's the other thing I heard that I was going to mention as well. I have heard that the episode is just going to still be continuing this current Wano arc and everything. It's not going to be like some special. So, having a special opening would feel out of place. Like, because think of it from the perspective of people who would be binging this series in the future and everything. They're going to get to this part, it's like there's just going to be suddenly a different opening just because it's episode 1000. It's going to throw things off. So I'm hoping it would be rather that instead of just a special opening, it is just, that's when the new opening is going to happen. And it's about time for a new opening. We've had the current one for quite a while. It's about the right time. I've been talking about it for weeks that we could use a new one. Probably a couple months, actually. We could use a new one. It's been quite a while since we got this one. And pretty much everything in this opening has come to pass and everything. It's like there's nothing that we haven't seen in the opening, in the current opening. So it's like we're kind of at that point where we could use a new one. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm hoping for. But we'll see when we get to that. We still got a few episodes to go before episode 1000. So yeah. But I am very excited to see how this fight in Wano continues. But one last thing before we continue, just as a note, because this might come up during the reaction and stuff, or even afterthoughts or whatnot. I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet in the pre-thoughts. If you ever see me wince or anything during this, if you see me like just seem uncomfortable, or if I even like audibly say something about it, like even just saying something like "ow" or something, I am facing, after Youmacon weekend, some pretty bad shoulder pain. It's my right shoulder over here. Obviously, it's mirrored for you, but my right shoulder. It's the back of the shoulder, like right up to the neck, the back of the neck, and then the top of the back itself. It's like a triangle area, basically, right there. But if I move my arm in certain ways or to certain degrees, it hurts. And the more I move it and everything, the more it hurts. And moving my neck, because it's at the back of my neck too, a little bit. If I move my neck in certain ways, or too fast or too hard or whatnot, that can also cause pain and stuff. So I'm letting you know that now. I probably won't be moving too much. I can move my arm like this, because this isn't moving the shoulder or anything as much, but I probably won't be like doing anything extravagant with this arm or anything. Like I'm probably not gonna lift it up like this, like I'm lifting this arm, because that would hurt a lot more. Hopefully this will all be fixed, or at least a lot better as the days go on. And it's already better than it was yesterday, so it should be. But it's like I think I probably just pulled something or whatnot. I'm probably gonna take a hot shower. Probably gonna put some ice on it as well. Both are supposed to be able to help for that, so I'll figure that all out. But in the meantime, just wanted to let you know about that, just in case it at any point does affect anything in the reaction. Hopefully it goes well though. So yeah. But we're gonna get this started. We are going to see what we got in store for this next episode and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. As you can see, I can't even do that fully, but I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. And sorry about the light suddenly coming out of nowhere. So, the first time we saw the SULONG form with Carrot, it was this huge production. They made a huge deal out of it. The transformation sequence was phenomenal. It was frightening. It was badass. And when you do something like this, even in One Piece, when Oda's done something like this before, you usually have it like, okay, the first one they make a big deal out of, and then as you see it more and more, it's just kind of normalized. You see this, for example, when Luffy used his Gear Second. The first time you saw it, it's like this huge deal. It's something so new and exciting when you see it in Eni's lobby. But then you see it again and again, and it's like, oh cool, Luffy's going Gear Second. We know what that means. They don't make a big production out of it. This is our third time seeing SULONG. And every single time, Oda has made a production out of it. With Carrot, with Pedro, or not, I said Pedro before. It wasn't Pedro, was it? No, it wasn't Pedro. It was, what's his face? The other guy. I think his name begins with a P as well. I think that's why I got confused. I can't think of his name at the moment. No, yeah, because Pedro's the one who died. It's the other guy. I can't remember his name. But yeah. And now it's with the entire Mink army and is about to be as well Cat Viper and Dogstorm. And again, it's made a huge production of. It's this big thing, seeing the entire army go Sulong, seeing the leaders of the Minks, who are also two of the retainers of Kosuke Oden, two of the Akazaya Nine, them going Sulong as well. It's a big deal, even though it's the third time we've seen this phenomenon. And I love that. I love that they're still making this, that Oda is still making this seem like such a cool, interesting, unique thing. That even though we've seen it multiple times before, it's still so badass. So I'm very excited to see Cat Viper and Dogstorm go Sulong next episode, after blueballing us with it this one. And that's pretty much what this episode focused on. We got little bits and pieces of other things here and there. We saw Law and Zoro fighting. We saw Queen freaking out. We saw Marco working together with his name's escaping me now too. Big Mom's kid. I can't remember what his name is at the moment. But we saw them working together because they both want to dissolve this alliance and everything, just for different reasons. And so it's like, yeah, all this shit is going down. And we see that. But the episode was definitely focused on the Minks. We see Kaido turn into his dragon form, come out of the hole, carrying the Akazaya Nine with him. And that's when it's revealed that this was a plan all along. They knew he was going to do this. And they knew that because of that, he would need to take them out of the building. So the Mink army was waiting to be led by Dogstorm and Cat Viper. And it's a great plan. They really thought things out. We get to see Jack getting involved again, because we know he definitely has a strong connection to the entire stuff with the Minks from the Zoe arc. And so it makes sense that we'd see him getting involved in this. But this episode didn't focus on any of the other stuff last episode really started. Like, we didn't see really much of anything with Nami and Carrot. We didn't see much of anything with Luffy taking on Big Mom. Again, we just saw little bits and pieces of other fights going on. Yamato, I think, had like one shot in this entire episode. I think he was only shown like once, maybe twice. And it's like, okay. It was a focused episode. It had less actually happening in it, but that's fine. But it does leave not a lot to actually discuss. Because everything else was just like, oh, look, Law is using shambles. Cool. Zoro doesn't think he needs help. It's Zoro, of course not. But he's accepting it anyways, because it's Zoro. It's like, yeah, you could, like, note all this thing. Shinobu is still waiting to rescue Momonosuke. It's like, yeah, nothing's really being done with this stuff at the moment. But it's there. It's kind of just filling out time, in a way, while the focus still remains on the Minks. It allows this episode to have that focus, while also still keeping everything else, like, keeping it in our minds and telling us, like, oh yeah, all this shit's still going down. But this episode is dedicated to this specific group of characters who are awesome and badass. And a lot of people, like, of course, there's going to be some idiots and ridiculous people out there who are going to say, oh, but furries, heh. And it's like, shut up. Just at this point, shut up. That's not even a cool thing to do anymore. No one makes fun of furries anymore. Like, that was like 2013. It's such a 2013 thing to do, to make fun of furries. Nowadays, people just don't care. It's not a deal anymore, like, at all. It's not just not a big deal. It's not a deal. No one. But it's like, you know, there's some idiots out there who would still say it, and it's like, it's just dumb, because these characters are badass, they're cool, they have personalities and dreams and depth, just like any character. The only difference between them and Luffy or Brook or Yamato or anyone else here is just that they're animals. That's literally it. They're just people like anyone else. And they just happen to be, as well, just a badass army led by two badass characters who we've grown to know since the Zou arc and have learned so much more about during Wano. And I like the Minks. I really do like what they're doing with them here, what they've done with them in the past, and hopefully what they do with them in the future. It's a really creative decision by Oda, and I think he really nailed it with the creation of this society. So I really do genuinely appreciate how Oda has handled this and how likable and just badass these characters can be, especially when going Sulong. Seeing Shishilian just go ham there for a brief moment. The brief moment we saw of them actually fighting in Sulong form. It's really cool. It's really cool. Can't wait to see more of that next episode. But in the meantime, tell me what you thought down in the comments below, and as always, no spoilers. I don't read the manga, so for those who may not know or new to the channel or whatever, I do not want to be spoiled. I do not want to know what's going to happen. Please do not tell me. I want to have genuine reactions as I watch it on the channel. So yeah, thank you all so much. Just tell me your general thoughts on this episode. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See you all next time.